Well, it's time for you to get your dander up. It's time for Sound Off Open Lines this hour. You know, as the late Peter Finch, playing the role of Howard Beale, once said in the movie Network, he just can't take it anymore. Can you? Thanks again to Richard C. Hoagland for coming on the program tonight, and we are buying 50 of his Dark Mission books, and I'm going to give out 49 of them. One's already spoken for from Bad Boy from the NighthawkZone.com group. So we'll give out 49 over the course of a few weeks. How I'm going to do that, I do not know, but we'll do it. And they'll be signed, by the way, by the authors Richard C. Hoagland and Michael Berra. So how about that? Let's go to the phones. We've got Sound Off Open Lines for this entire hour to get your week going. And here we go. Let's go to Boulder, Colorado, west of the Rockies. You're on Coast to Coast. Welcome to the program. Hi there.
Hey
Hello.
there, George.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's Katz from Boulder.
Hey,
I want
Katz.
to sound off about the Georgian-Russian situation and the U.S. role.
Sure.
Now, let me get this straight. We did nothing when they were murdering people in Rwanda. We haven't done anything yet to mitigate the situation in Darfur. The Georgians, from my understanding, went into South Ossetia and started wiping people out and destroying homes. And we come in on the side of the Georgians against the Russians. What gives? I mean, is this not totally absurd, like an Alice in Wonderland world, or what?
When you tend to take sides, you always seem to take the sides of the group that you want to return the favor for. So I have a feeling that we conveniently turned our head the other way while this was going on. And to what I hear, about 1,500 of those people in that breakaway province may have been killed by Georgia during that initial episode. And, you know, they were breaking off. There's no question about that. They, wanted to side with Russia. And, I think the head of Georgia, the president, made a blunder, and he paid for it.
Well, that very well may be so, but what are we, the United States, doing, sticking our nose in this thing and on the wrong side? I mean,
haven't we done that before?
Yes, indeed we have. Oh, just one little thing, George.
Sure.
Edible RFIDs, have you heard about this?
Edible?
Yes, because the FDA wants to, some are thinking that some of these E. coli outbreaks have been manipulated in order to scare people about their food.
Okay.
So that they have a reason to put edible RFID chips into the food, and people won't complain. They say, "Oh well, they have to track it." It's just something to keep an eye on.
So as you take a bite out of your salad, you'll get that chip down your throat, huh?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! Well, you pass it out eventually, don't you?
I suppose so, but in the meantime, they can make a lot of them.
Well, that's true. Kat, thanks for the call. Joplin, Missouri, east of the Rockies. Hey, Dan, go ahead.
Hello, George. I want to sound off about how so many so-called enlightened, sighted people are so closed-minded when we versatile, visionary, blind people try to let them know that we can see things on the inside of our minds and that we use that inner vision to help us do all sorts of things very productively.
Give me a little example here, Daniel.
Well, I'm going to put a little bit of sense of humor in this, if you don't mind,
all right,
sir, because sometimes we need that. Now, way back when I was 5 years old, when seeing shadows and shapes and colors up near my face faded away into inner space. You follow me?
I'm with you.
Now, what came into my mind, and I know many, many ones of my era will most certainly understand this, what came to my mind was perceptions of wheels turning in relation to wheels and cranks and pulleys and levers in geometric configurations that Richard C. Hoagland would delight in, you see, was all moving in and out of each other and around each other and everything. And, of course, it wasn't my dad's fault, but he basically said, well, Dan, that sounds like Rube Goldberg, and he was a genius, but he was never practical. So don't be like him. So I thought to myself, wow, Daddy is scared, and he's saying big words that I don't understand, but I think I'm on to something. So you know what, George? I persevere despite the closed-mindedness of people, and that's why I can use my inner space to help me with everything from remote sensing to hypnosis to giving instructions to artists to have them draw things for me. And there's far too many people out there that reduce we blind people down to glorified word processors with feelings. You follow me?
Well, you know better than that.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'll end with this little deal. No matter whether you can see or not, if you cannot see it in your mind, then you are a blind person.
So true, Daniel. So true. Let's go to Alexandria, Louisiana. Cornelius, thanks for holding.
George, I want to sound off about why don't you have like some prophecy preachers on, since you deal with psychics and stuff like that. I just wanted to sound off about that.
Positive preachers.
Prophecy preachers.
Prophecy. Oh, we've had a few one. We've had someone. We, not a lot, but we do it probably 2-3 times a year.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I listen to y'all all the time, but sometimes I got to wake up early in the morning so I don't get.
Sometimes you might miss it. We do. And then we put up on the website on a weekly basis the guests that are going to be coming on the program. So we normally post them on Thursday of every week for the following week. So just, follow along that way, and you'll see exactly who's on the show. Let's go to Van Nuys, California. David, your turn. Hi there.
I want to sound off to every American that's asleep who's allowed this country to be hijacked. Literally, you know it. You're awake. I listen to you. It's like you and Art Bell seem to be the only two who understand what's going on here. I mean, our country was literally hijacked. He's been playing a shell game with us. It's like when something happens, like whenever the gas goes up 50 cents a gallon, the mountains are all burning on fire. Don't tell me. I looked on satellite imaging. All the mountains that have been lit on fire throughout the United States are all in populated areas. Now, why isn't places in like South America or anywhere else? It's like someone's going out there lighting the mountains on fire whenever there's some disturbance in the Bush administration, and it's crazy. And the oil companies are all connected to this administration, and it goes up to $5 a gallon. Could you imagine? Almost went to $5. It went to $4.89 a gallon.
And I'm surprised it didn't stay there longer than it should have.
This proves the administration's in bed with these faceless cowards. As soon as it reached almost $5 a gallon, you know what happened? Bush started talking like he's working for ExxonMobil. He goes, let him drill. I mean, this guy should be put in prison. I mean, he's in bed with the people who are creating economic terrorism against this country. And check this out. Every single person in the Bush administration who is no longer in the Bush administration, he let them go. Why? Because they were a conduit to him being impeached. Because everybody he told to break the law and do something wrong, he let go so there couldn't be an investigation. Number one, Greenspan was told by the White House to drop interest rates in order to destroy the housing market and then flip it around and complete an economic crunch, which is happening right now. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac right now was being investigated by the FBI. And guess what they did? They said the White House did it. They said Greenspan was forced to drop the interest rates, and then that collapsed the market. And guess what? The Bush White House has said, okay, shut up. We're going to give you money. Now the White House is bailing them out to keep them quiet so they don't go to the media and say the White House was the ones who flushed the whole economy out by dropping interest rates in order to crash the economy. These guys are economic masters in the White House.
Well, there you go. You're sounding off. That's what this is all about. Remember the thing that I've always said. Follow the money trail when things happen. 99.9% of the time, follow the money trail or who benefits, even in your own life. If something happens to you that you think is strange, unusual, trying to figure out what happened, who did this to me, just ask yourself who benefits, and you'll see the trail. It's not too hard to find out. Thanks for the call. Next up, let's go to Mark in California, west of the Rockies. Sound off, Mark.
Hey, George. How you doing
Good.
tonight? Great show. I'd like to sound off about the black hole thing you were talking to Richard to a little
They're going
bit
to flip
ago.
the switch on Wednesday.